Natal Mercury in Sagittarius. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down natal Mercury in Sagittarius, everything to expect when someone has their natal Mercury in Sagittarius, and how to master this placement. All right, so let's discuss. So now the first thing you need to know is that Mercury does not function well here, as Sagittarius is associated with being impulsive, reckless, tactless, and blunt. Okay, so Mercury has certain signs that it functions well in and it doesn't function as well in, and Sagittarius it happens to be one of those signs that Mercury does not function as well in. Now the reason why Mercury doesn't like being in Sagittarius is because Sagittarius energy is associated with being impulsive, reckless, tactless, and blunt, and you don't want to have that associated with your mind, how you think, speak, and communicate, right? You don't want impulsiveness, recklessness, tactlessness, and bluntness, like just being impulsive and blunt, like you just say whatever comes to your mind. Mercury doesn't want that. Mercury wants to be tactful, Mercury wants to be logical, and Mercury wants to come off in a very refined way, naturally. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know, is that typically Mercury does not function well, but that doesn't mean that this is a bad Mercury to have. I'm going to talk about the good and I'm going to talk about the downsides. So the second thing, these people can come off as rude unintentionally, and they're very opinionated. They won't hesitate to share and express their opinion, okay? So now this is going back to why I said Mercury doesn't function well here, is because it makes you come off as rude unintentionally. It makes you come off as the type of person that you're overly opinionated. It's like you share your opinion when nobody asked, all right? Because that's just the bluntness. Like Sagittarius energy is just associated with being blunt. You're just going to say how you feel and you don't care how it comes off. So what tends to happen is that's why people, when they have this placement, they tend to come off as rude unintentionally and just overly opinionated, like, oh my God, like you're just so quick to share your opinion and nobody asked. These people can come off as loud and obnoxious. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and all fire signs tend to come off as loud and obnoxious, okay? So these are the downside to having Mercury in Sagittarius, but I'm going to get to the good side. So the good side is when people have this placement is they speak their truth and they're very honest. Sagittarius energy is associated with speaking your truth and being honest, just saying how you feel and being honest about how you feel and not really caring about how it comes off. So that's a good thing, is you always know where you stand with these people because they speak their truth and they do pride themselves on being very honest with people. These people are big thinkers. They think outside the box and they have big ideas. This is something that I absolutely love about natal Sagittarian Mercuries, is that they're big thinkers. This is probably the best thing about them, is they think outside the box. They have these huge ideas. They're not narrow, small-minded thinkers. They have very big outside the box thinkers. Sagittarius Mercuries would be good in careers that involve higher education, all forms of higher education, publishing, and long distance travel. Okay, these are the things that Sagittarius are associated with. Sagittarius is associated with higher education, publishing, and all things involving long distance travel and connecting with other cultures. So when you have natal Mercury in Sagittarius, you would be great in careers that involve these matters. Sagittarian Mercuries think about expanding their experiences and experiencing new things 24/7. This is what a Sagittarius is associated with, expanding your experiences and experiencing new things 24/7. That's all Sagittarius Mercuries think about, is how can I expand my experiences more? How can I experience new things? That's all they want to do, is just rack up their experiences in life. Celebrity example, LeBron James. And I always use the example of LeBron James because it's so easy to, this is the perfect study on Mercury and Sagittarius, because if you look at LeBron James in his career, he's always prided himself on having the ultimate freedom. Like what he would do with his contracts is he would sign shorter contracts so he has more leverage, because he never wants to be in a position where he's trapped, right? That's literally Mercury and Sagittarius at its best, is you never put yourself in a position where you're trapped. And you can tell, like, LeBron James is a very big thinker. He prides himself on being a big thinker, right? So that's how you see natal Mercury and Sagittarius play out in real life. And this is similar to having natal Mercury in the 9th house. If you have this placement, you want to make sure you study natal Mercury in the 9th house as well, because Sagittarius rules the 9th house. And thank you for watching. That's everything you need to know. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Take care.